Okay, got an oldie today. We have a Jilette stereo system, 8-track player, stereo, or AM/FM stereo, and record player. I have no idea what I'll find in this. Probably not a good part of gold recovery, but we shall take a look and see what is inside it. Go ahead and see that we got some nuts on the bottom. 30 seconds. 5/16. There we go. And this will probably be holding in a transformer. That's what it'll be holding in. Little hook here. That's the wrong one. There's up here. Looks like it's missing a foot. There's your plastic bits. Make sure these are loose, and then I'll come back with the driver and spin them until hopefully they come free. I like that one for some reason. Still attached. Keep that one bouncing around while I work on this. There's one more here. Back plate on. That's what we got so far. Okay, so let's just get the snips and we'll go through here and snip everything that seems to be holding it. So those wires, we'll leave that strap for the moment. Those wires, okay, strap. That strap is actually the antenna wire. So we got the record player portion there, along with whatever's connected back there. Let's try getting this. There we go. Needed a bigger bit for that. And that takes that guy. Alright, that's just wood. That will go into my fire barrel. These little bits are probably brass. No, they're brass. See the different steel, brass. Steel button or steel screw. I think the other part here might be brass. Yep, those are brass. So I just need to get these guys off, which have some tiny little screws on there, nuts on them. Reorganize. Now then, pull that. I'm wondering if I need to do this at this point, because I've loosened all those up earlier. I don't. Oh, maybe. This one's tighter. Didn't like that bit. Sometimes you have to resort back to your handhelds. So don't expect to get a lot of precious metal recovery out of this. Maybe a little bit of silver from capacitors. Doubt there's any gold recovery to be found in it. We may find some Greeley's though, between the record player and the 8-track player. Okay, so that's that backboard done. So these little bits are brass. Copper, wire, copper. I guess it is copper, but it's wire. That may be an early version of a noise reducer. Instead of doing it with a ferrite, they may have done it with just a steel band there. Got wire. Like the old radio I took apart. Sometimes it's easier just to snip things in here when they, because they used to, you know, instead of circuit boards, they just ran wires everywhere, and instead of connection points, I mean, they just did these tabs that they would solder all the wires to. It's a connection point, but it's just a different type of connection point. Over here. Height, no swept you. I have a couple motors in here. I'll put all you guys up. One's still there. That's the tuner. We'll break that because we will not be saying that. There's my throat acting up again. Got one hiding over here somewhere. Nope. I don't see anymore. The headphone jack is screw on it. There we go. Now this is mostly plastic. It does have some stainless or aluminum coatings on it. I don't know that I'm going to worry about that. It's got one grass piece in there, but I'm not going to worry about that either. I think in the last 2 days I have taken apart about 9 devices, maybe 10 now. I think we'll take a break. And that's not including the stuff that I've done off camera. I went so bad I feel like I should have checked to see if the 8-track player worked. Although I haven't seen an 8-track tape in, well, let's just say a long time. Oh, the screws I see along the front of this thing. Here comes Sophia. Maybe? No. Thought I heard her coming, but guess not. Headphone jack. There's that bulb. More screws hiding behind the felt. Another bulb here. Okay. Let's see if we can get these little brass pieces out. Let me brass, please. No. Not paying attention. Grab my magnets. Not sure if they're brass, but they're in there pretty dang tight. They are brass. They're screws. Good grief, how do they get those suckers in there? And they're just press fits. Anyway, let me come back for those. A couple more bulbs up here I'm not going to worry about, and the rest of that is steel. I don't know, I probably won't even worry about coming back for that. Let's see, so there's the 8-track component. Piece of steel. That's just wires. I'm actually surprised. There are a couple IC chips on this. That is not wire, that is the tuner filament. I'll just copper wire cleaned up here and out of the way. Gotta get my thing set up and grind some copper again. Okay, so what do we have in here? These are plastic bits. That's plastic. Hang on to that. That's a bridge from that other piece. Bulbs, I'm not going to worry about. Okay, let me plastic there. This doesn't come out, it is not needed here. Let's run this stuff real quick. And still, these are all steel. Now start that piece of brass. All the steel screws. This piece is plastic. So we got a little bit of brass here. These pieces must be brass, and that little screw is stainless. This piece from the tuner knob is brass. That's brass. Go down there in the connectors bin. This has got a copper coil on it. Probably not worth anything, but that is ferrite with a copper coil, and I can just slide the ferrite out. That's all. It's got a little bit of copper wire in it. Where's that? Steel shred bucket. This has a little switch in it. There may be some silver in there, so we'll hold on to that. And this is the headphone jack, which, yep, that's brass. Going to brass connectors. Now let's take a look at what else we got here. First. So this guy, we got a couple IC chips that I mentioned, 3 or 4 of them. We got some transistors in here. We've got some capacitors in here, of course. We've got some ceramic capacitors that may have silver in them. These guys are tuning devices of some kind. I need to find out what's inside them. I think it's just copper. That is a tuning device of some kind as well. That's actually a tuner. Need to find out what's in there. Potentiometer over here of some kind. Oh, that one seems to be stuck in place. These guys as well, potentiometers. Not sure there's anything in there. Copper flashing on the back of the board is very obvious. Another little brass piece there, it looks like. But all in all, that's about it. Some more resin capacitors up here on the front. And of course, your resistors and diodes. A couple little copper coils in here as well. I'll put this aside, take it apart further. Gonna get that little guy off somehow. But yeah. This guy has got our windmill motor in here, little transformer. So let's get those off. We'll need a longer drill bit, or screwdriver bit, because of the way this sucker is. So there's our little transformer. Looks like I can take the back of this off. I am going to go ahead and grab this resistor right here. I don't know if it's the age that they contain precious metals, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. The rest of that I'm going to leave on there. Let's see. So here we got a little drive belt. Get that guy off. See if we find anything that's worthy of being a greedy in here. Screw is not going to budge. There's a little copper motor, copper bearing motor. Not copper motor, but copper bearing motor. It's got a sleeve on here. So we'll keep that as is for now. Beyond that, let's see what else we can find in here. That's the reed head. Sometimes these have been magnetic. No, not that one. I think they've been magnetic. Maybe I'm wrong. And that gets stripped out as well. Anything worthy of anything there. That looks like it might have copper in it. That I'm not worried about. That I'm not worried about. That's a diode. I'll snip him real quick. That's clear. Some kind of little switch there. Yank him out. Let's yank this guy out. Weaken the metal here. Do some fatigue and snap it off. The rest of that I'm going to let go to scrap. I don't see anything really worth anything. You know what? That might be. Nope, that's steel. That piece looks like it might be cast aluminum. Yeah, it is cast aluminum. Do I want to deal with getting to it? Is the question. Oh, there's a little stick clip on it. Off, it drops that wheel out. I'm going to hold on to that. That might be gribbly worthy. And then I can get in here and get to these screws. Get this tiny bit of this loop. Looks like it may have a brass or bronze bearing in it. The rest of that is steel toe straps. Okay. Now then, the last part we have to look at is the turntable portion, which again has a small copper motor. And I'm going to call it right now and say that there's nothing really gribbly worthy here. So there's that little motor. Set that aside. Wires. There's another little switch here. May have silver in it. And in fact, since this one falls apart as I'm opening it, I'll be able to show you the silver in this. That is a little silver contact. That is another little silver contact. And the rest of that is steel, and like I said, I don't think I'm confident in calling any of that gribbly worthy, so I'm going to let it slide. Maybe I'm wrong, but it is in a steel shred. It feels... Okay, that piece is aluminum, or that piece is steel, but the rest of it is aluminum. And that's... It's got little tabs holding it in there. Have to pry them up a little bit. And generally speaking, if I'm going to get hurt in the shop, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm trying to use a screwdriver for something it's not meant to do. And that little bearing is bronze. Doesn't react to the magnet. You do want to test these. Sometimes they will be bronze, sometimes they will be steel. Typically they're not brass. People keep saying they're brass, they're not. They are bronze. Copper motor, copper transformer. Aren't you just sliding straight? There it goes. And that should just be steel with a little bit of aluminum embedded in it. Yeah, I can just straight this thread. I expect the same thing here, so I get a screwdriver. This one's not being so nice. Steel, another little piece of bronze, another little piece of aluminum. Okay, so I think that's where we're going to call it tonight, because there's nothing left to take apart here. I'll just do a little bit of cleanup, get all the steel situated. So these two little bits are bronze, those two little bits have silver on them. That I don't know anything about it, but I kept it. Same for this. This has got this little copper containing unit on it. I need to pop that off. So there's a little bit of copper Wire's off, so you can see the copper in there now. So toss that in my copper bearing bucket. That can go back to shred. Let's see, that's a standard screwdriver. That's my Phillips screwdriver. That one can go back there. You can go back there. So 2 little bits of aluminum. Those little guys. Go with that. So now that I think about it, that is more than likely a bronze bushing as well on that. That will go to get processed. That's got copper and potentially silver in it. I don't know what that is. I'll get it off. It's riveted on here. Oh, that twisted off perfectly fine. Let's try that. These guys on steel. This does not want to separate. Same brass, potentially copper. There it goes. Alright. So this looks like it's brass and copper. I'm not getting any magnetic response. There's 2 little bits of steel. So we'll throw this in the brass stuff to melt down. I don't know what it originally was, but it no longer is whatever it was. Okay, steel. Actually, that's not steel. Don't know what that is, but it is not steel. I don't think it's aluminum. It feels a little too heavy for that. I don't know, maybe stainless. I'll toss it over stainless for now. Another piece of wire, and with a card. That's this will go into